Today we're counting down 15 vintage American agricultural machines from the 1900s that truly were on another level. From pioneering tractors that revolutionized farm work to colossal beasts of machinery that redefined what was possible, these mechanical marvels all help shape farming as we know it today. Buckle up because we're about to take a nostalgic journey back in time to explore how each piece of equipment propelled American agriculture forward. Number 15, the Fordson Model F. The Fordson Model F, introduced in 1917 by Henry Ford and Son, was the first mass-produced tractor to truly bring industrial efficiency into farming. It sported a 4-cylinder engine capable of approximately 20 horsepower on the belt and 10 horsepower on the drawbar. Small by today's standards, but revolutionary at the time. Built using assembly line methods, it drastically lowered production costs, making tractors more affordable for family farms and opening the door to a new era of mechanized agriculture. Before the Fordson, tractors were generally very expensive, heavy, and often powered by steam. Ford's innovative approach to manufacturing borrowed many lessons from the automobile industry. So these machines rolled out faster and cheaper. Despite their modest size and relatively simple design, they offered sufficient torque for plowing fields, pulling harrows, and completing other tough farm tasks once handled by a draft animal. Now, its simple but effective design featured a rugged steel chassis and a gear-driven transmission. Farmers quickly appreciated the reliability, and spare parts were very easy to obtain. Another plus, the Model F's lighter weight meant less compaction on soft soil. This crucial advantage allowed Fordsons to work in wetter conditions where heavier steam tractors would risk getting stuck. In short, the Fordson Model F represented a monumental leap in American agriculture, a tractor for the masses that helped smaller farmers modernize. It bridged the gap between horse-drawn implements and fully mechanized fieldwork, igniting a wave of practical innovation that would sweep across rural communities for decades. Number 14, the John Deere Waterloo Boy. Purchased by John Deere in 1918, the Waterloo Boy was the company's first foray into tractor production, laying the groundwork for a heritage that endures to this day. Originally developed by the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company, this tractor sported a 2-cylinder horizontal engine capable of about 12 horsepower on the drawbar and 25 on the belt. Strong enough to handle typical field chores in the early 1900s. The Waterloo Boy introduced farmers to a simple, robust design that could be maintained easily with basic tools. Its engine was water-cooled, hence the name, and featured an external radiator that gave it a distinctive look. Startup required careful adjustment of the fuel mixture, and many farmers grew quite skilled at fine-tuning the carburetor settings for maximum efficiency. One of its key selling points was the ability to run on cheaper fuels like kerosene, which would slash operating costs in times where every penny counted. The tractor's weight distribution also reduced slippage, improving traction during plowing and cultivating. Now, once word spread about its durability and ease of maintenance, the Waterloo Boy became a fixture on Midwestern farms. It proved to John Deere executives that the future was in reliable, versatile tractors, and without the Waterloo Boy, John Deere might never have become the iconic brand in agricultural machinery that we know today. This machine was a real watershed moment for mechanized farming in America. Number 13, the International Harvester Farmall Regular. Unveiled by International Harvester in 1924, the Farmall Regular, commonly just called the Farmall, was the first truly successful row crop tractor, reshaping how American fields were cultivated. Equipped with a 4-cylinder engine delivering roughly 13 drawbar horsepower and about 20 belt horsepower, it handled everything from plowing to planting in a package that was designed to fit between rows of corn, cotton, and other row crops. Now, before the Farmall, farmers often had to use separate machines or revert to horses for certain operations. International Harvester aimed to consolidate these tasks into one tractor, and they succeeded. With its tricycle-style front end, the Farmall Regular gave operators the maneuverability to navigate between rows without damaging plants. It also featured adjustable rear wheel spacing, a novel concept at the time to adapt to different row widths. In an era where multifunctionality was still rare, the Farmall Regular stood out for its versatility. It could be equipped with various implements, cultivators, planters, and mowers that turned it into a one-tractor-fits-all solution. Another hallmark, the raised seat and open design that improved visibility for operators tending delicate crops. The Farmall's success ushered in a new standard for row crop tractors that would influence designs for decades. Even now, some of these old Farmalls still run, a testament to their robust engineering and enduring significance. Number 12, the Caterpillar 60. Introduced in 1925 by the newly formed Caterpillar Tractor Company, the Caterpillar 60 was a track-type tractor boasting formidable pulling power. Early on, Caterpillar recognized that the tracks offered better traction and weight distribution than traditional wheels, making the 60 especially suitable for soft or uneven terrain. Its gasoline engine typically rated around 60 belt horsepower, hence the 60 name, and that put it in the upper echelon of tractor capability during its heyday. Before Caterpillar popularized track-laying designs, heavy tractors often sank into muddy or sandy fields. The 60's track system provided lower ground pressure, significantly reducing the risk of getting stuck and enabling farmers to work in conditions where wheel tractors would struggle. This design translated into higher productivity, as operators could plow fields earlier in the season or manage heavier soils more effectively. Maintenance, however, was more involved than with conventional wheel tractors. Tracks required regular lubrication and tension checks, and the undercarriage needed cleaning to prevent soil buildup. Still, the benefits outweighed the extra labor. Operators found that the 60's robust design delivered remarkable durability. Caterpillar's machines were built to work day in, day out, and often under harsh conditions. This strong track-laying concept revolutionized what was possible in land reclamation and large-scale farming. It found a home clearing forests, building roads, and supporting massive farming operations out west. Farmers and land developers alike would praise its stability and raw power, and the 60 quickly became an emblem of Caterpillar's reputation for ruggedness. Indeed, the Caterpillar 60 didn't just shape modern agriculture, it helped shape the entire heavy equipment industry. Number 11, the Minneapolis Moline Universal. Minneapolis Moline, formed by the 1929 merger of three farm equipment companies, made strides with the Universal Tractor Series, which aimed to provide a universal solution to varied farming tasks. One of the standout models emerged in the 30s, incorporating innovative features that included adjustable tread widths and a clever PTO, or power takeoff arrangement. With a power rating in the vicinity of 20 to 30 drawbar horsepower, it catered effectively to small and mid-sized farms. The Universal's architecture was notably flexible. Farmers could quickly switch between implements without disassembling a maze of parts. This saved them time during peak seasons, where hours lost to machinery changeovers would be critical. Another innovation was the company's emphasis on operator comfort. While early tractors often had rudimentary settings, Minneapolis Moline provided a relatively cushioned seat and intuitive controls, making long days in the field much more bearable. An important part of the brand's appeal was its dedication to engineering efficiency. The engine, typically powered by gasoline, performed reliably, and the tractor's simplified gearing system remained manageable for less mechanically inclined farmers. The Universal's easy handling also endeared it to newcomers that were venturing into mechanization for the first time. Beyond plowing, this series could tackle tasks like cultivating, belt work, and pulling wagons. It also could be fitted with specialized attachments for tasks like potato digging. That universal aspect was more than just a marketing slogan. It truly was designed for year-round utility. The Universal helped Minneapolis Moline establish a reputation as an innovative player that understood the evolving needs of American farmers. Jokes aside, if you want a single tractor to handle most of the grunt work in the 30s, the Universal was a dependable choice. Number 10, the Allis-Chalmers Model B. Launched in 1937, the Allis-Chalmers Model B was a game-changer in the realm of small tractors. With a modest yet efficient four-cylinder engine, providing about 17 horsepower on the drawbar, it aimed to serve smaller farm operations that didn't need or couldn't afford a larger tractor. Importantly, it was priced competitively, making mechanized agriculture accessible to a broader segment of rural America. One of Model B's hallmark features was a comfortable design, an improvement over many contemporaries that didn't put emphasis on user ergonomics. The operator's platform was well laid out, with easy-to-reach controls and a relatively padded seat. Another distinctive aspect was its narrow front end, which could be adjusted to cultivate a wide range of row crops. Allis-Chalmers was among the first companies to see the value in specialized implements designed to mount directly onto the tractor's frame. This allowed operators to use it for disking, planting, or harvesting vegetables without fussing with large, unwieldy attachments. Its power was modest compared to bigger tractors, but it was enough to handle everyday chores on smaller plots. The Model B's success set Allis-Chalmers firmly on the path of designing reliable, economic tractors that were perfect for the average American farm. As rural electrification spread and demands on farmers increased, the Model B filled an essential niche. Its legacy remained strong, with many older operators fondly recalling the sweet little tractor that got the job done without fail. It might not have had the muscle of bigger machines, but it certainly had the heart. Number 9. The John Deere Model A. Debuting in 1934, the John Deere Model A stood as the brand's first row crop tractor with a vertical 2-cylinder engine. A design that became synonymous with John Deere. Rated at around 18 horsepower on the drawbar, it offered more grunt than many earlier row crop tractors, yet it maintained a narrow front end that fit neatly between row crops. Where the Model A really shined was in its adaptability. With adjustable rear wheels, it could be configured for various row spacings, a big plus for farmers alternating between corn, soybeans, and other row crops. The tractor's innovative power lift system made raising and lowering implements a breeze, saving time and backbreaking labor. Operators also enjoyed the convenience of a foot-operated clutch and comfortable seat position. Solid perks on a long workday. Notably, John Deere kept tinkering with improvements, refining the Model A's design over its nearly 2-decade production run. Early models did have some quirks, like a hand-operated clutch and basic mechanical lift, but by the mid-1940s, improvements included electrical starting, lights, and a hydraulic power lift, which were all luxuries that farmers quickly came to appreciate. Now, beyond that raw power, the Model A earned a reputation for reliability. John Deere's hit-and-miss style 2-cylinder engine produced a memorable exhaust note that countless farm kids grew up hearing. That distinct pop, pop, pop was music to the ears of many owners. After all, the Model A was a farm's steadfast partner for plowing, cultivating, cutting hay, and so much more. Throughout its lifespan, the Model A reflected the era's push for greater efficiency and operator convenience in row crop farming. Even though technology has roared forward, many collectors and vintage machinery enthusiasts still adore the Model A for its timeless blend of practicality and nostalgia. Number 8. The Oliver 70. Manufactured by the Oliver Farm Equipment Company from 1935 through the 1940s, the Oliver 70 served as a striking example of 1930s automotive-inspired tractor styling. Its streamlined hood and sleek contours stood apart in a market where most tractors sported purely functional designs. The 70 6-cylinder engine produced roughly 22 drawbar horsepower, which was enough for light to medium tillage, cultivating, and belt work. Operators gravitated toward the 70 for more than just its looks, though. Its engine, which could burn gasoline or kerosene, would run efficiently and deliver dependable performance. Oliver also included an electric starter on some models, which was a real luxury in a time when cranks were the standard method of getting engines going. The tractor's smooth shifting transmission and comfortable operator station,
a friend of mine also, so it's nice to have a tractor,
earned accolades from farmers who spent long hours behind the wheel. Mechanically, the Oliver 70 was relatively simple to maintain, thanks to accessible design features. The company's strong dealer network meant that parts were generally obtainable, even in remote areas. One interesting trait, it was known for an unusually soft ride for a tractor of its day. Attributed in part to its careful balance of weight across the front and rear axles. Oliver distinguished itself by blending style and substance. While the distinctive styling caught farmers' eyes at dealership lots, the tractor's performance kept them satisfied out in the field. Whether pulling a 2-bottom plow, running a thresher, or just ferrying supplies around the farm, the Oliver 70 offered a winning combination of capability and flair. Its popularity persisted well into the 1940s, and it influenced the design of subsequent Oliver models and left an indelible mark on the golden age of American tractor manufacturing. Number 7. The JI Model Case LA. Now, produced between 1940 and 53, the J.I. Case Model LA brought serious brawn to the table, powered by a big 4-cylinder engine that delivered up to 51 drawbar horsepower and 62 on the belt. This tractor fit comfortably into the heavy-duty segment of the era. For farmers who needed to plow vast tracts of land or operate a big threshing machine, the Model LA stood as a rock-solid partner. One standout feature was the LA's robust construction. Weighing about 7,000 pounds, it provided the traction needed for tough soils and large implements. Its gas or distillate engine could handle sustained workloads without overheating, a critical factor when farmland was expanding and the pressure to increase output was on the rise. The LA's durable gearbox also allowed for multiple speeds, offering flexibility for different tasks. Another plus was operator comfort, relative for that era, of course. Now, the seat was situated to afford decent visibility, and the clutch and brake controls were intuitive. Case tractors were known for reliability, and the LA carried that torch proudly. Mechanical systems were straightforward to service, so farmers could tackle basic repairs basically for themselves. The Model LA's extra muscle appealed to those pushing the limits of acreage, especially in the American Midwest and Great Plains. It was frequently paired with large plows, disc harrows, and combines that demanded more torque than smaller tractors could reliably provide. While it might have gulped down fuel at a quicker rate, owners generally felt that the productivity gains were worth it. Beyond the farm, the Model LA even found utility in industrial settings, including road construction and land clearing. It was, quite literally, built to get the heaviest jobs done. Number 6, the Gleaner Baldwin Combine. When the Baldwin brothers from Kansas launched the first Gleaner combine harvester in 1923, they changed the harvesting game. Now, self-propelled combines weren't yet mainstream, but Gleaner's design combined the process of reaping, threshing, and winnowing into a single pass. Early models used Ford Model T engines before transitioning to more powerful power plants. This innovation would help farmers harvest wheat and other grains far more efficiently than conventional binder and thresher systems. Central to the Gleaner's success was its lightweight all-aluminum body, which reduced field compaction and improved maneuverability. Farmers could climb hills and navigate varied terrain with less bogging down. The Gleaner also introduced an auger-based unloading system, which let operators empty harvested grain directly into a wagon or truck without stopping. This continuous flow approach improved efficiency. Maintenance was relatively straightforward, with removable parts for quick cleaning and repairs. Many early Gleaners had a side-mounted threshing cylinder, making it easy for operators to access and clear any clogs. Now, over time, refinement like improved sieves and larger grain tanks increased the machine's throughput, but the core design remained recognizable. While the other manufacturers jumped into the self-propelled harvester market, Gleaner's forward-thinking approach gained a loyal following among producers in the Midwest and beyond. By drastically cutting labor requirements during harvest, Gleaner combines allowed farms to expand operations while still meeting harvest deadlines. Now, jokes aside, these machines really did glean every bit of efficiency that they could out of the process. They were a big reason why the mid-20th century farm saw such leaps in grain productivity. Number 5, the International Harvester Titan. Now, before the Farmall Regular would steal the spotlight, International Harvester made waves with the Titan tractor line in the early 1900s. Models like the 1020 and the 1530 Titans were introduced around 1910 and remained in production through the early 20s. These behemoths were powered by kerosene-burning engines, a cost-effective fuel compared to gasoline in those days. Their heavy steel construction and robust gearing made them suitable for breaking tough prairie sod and pulling large implements. The Titan 1020, for instance, provided about 10 horsepower at the drawbar and 20 on the belt, giving it ample muscle for belt-driven threshers, corn shellers, and sawmills. Starting these machines did require some know-how. Operators often began with gasoline and then would switch to kerosene once the engine got warm. A famous feature was the jump spark ignition, which replaced older make and brake ignitions for better efficiency. Weighing in at about 4,000 pounds, the Titan 1020 was lighter than some of its steam predecessors, but still hefty by modern small tractor standards. Its rugged design meant fewer breakdowns in the field, which was a key advantage when the nearest repair shop might be many miles away. While Titans lacked modern conveniences like power steering and easy shifting, they were a quantum leap forward from horse-powered plows. For thousands of families, the Titan served as the first taste of mechanized farming. The mere sight of a Titan rolling across the fields in the early 1900s signaled that a new era had come. Though eventually overshadowed by subsequent innovations like the Farmall, the Titan proved that International Harvester was a serious contender in the race to mechanize agriculture. Its legacy remains a testament to the brand's early commitment to pushing boundaries. Number 4, the Minneapolis Moline UDLX Comfort Tractor. In 1938, Minneapolis Moline went bold with a pioneering concept, a tractor that doubled as a road vehicle. Dubbed the UDLX Comfort Tractor, it featured an enclosed cab, headlights, a horn, and a top speed around 40 miles an hour, which was crazy for a farm tractor of that era. The logic was simple, allowing farmers to head from field to market or even into town without needing a separate truck or car. Under the hood, the UDLX packed a 6-cylinder engine generating around 40 horsepower on the drawbar. It came with a multi-speed transmission that allowed high-speed travel on roads, an unheard-of convenience at the time. The enclosed cab offered a real windshield, full seating, and even a heater for cold weather, a far cry from the open-air seats that were common on other tractors. It was, in many respects, years ahead of its time. Now, despite the groundbreaking design, the UDLX did face some challenges in the marketplace. Its higher sticker price, coupled with the fact that many farmers already owned a basic truck, limited its commercial success. Plus, its heavier build made it less practical for certain field tasks. But for those who did invest, the Comfort Tractor offered unparalleled comfort and versatility. Today, the UDLX is a highly coveted collector's item. Celebrated for its unique blend of functionality and style, it represented Minneapolis Moline's willingness to experiment with concepts beyond the ordinary. While it wasn't a massive commercial triumph, it surely propelled the conversation about operator comfort and multi-use machinery, influencing the design philosophy for future generations of farm equipment. Number 3, the John Deere 4020. Launched in 1963, the John Deere 4020 quickly became one of the most iconic tractors in modern farming, running until 1972 and logging over 177,000 units produced. Packing around 90 drawbar horsepower from its 6-cylinder diesel engine, a gas version was also available, it did have enough might to handle larger implements on mid to large-scale farms. The 4020's reliability and performance made it a go-to machine across the U.S. A big leap forward was its synchro-range transmission, offering 8 forward gears and 4 reverse. While other tractors might force operators to stop for gear changes, the 4020's transmission allowed smoother shifting on the go, boosting efficiency in the field. Another groundbreaking option was the power shift transmission, which let you switch gears without clutching, a big boon for tasks like baling or loader work. Operator comfort received ample attention. The seat and controls were arranged with ergonomics in mind. Plus, integrated hydraulics allowed for handy control of implements. The 4020 could be outfitted with a cab. Some even had heat and air conditioning toward the end of its production run. For many farmers, that was a major lifestyle upgrade, letting them work longer hours in relative comfort. In maintenance terms, the 4020 benefited from a robust parts supply and widespread dealership support. Owners appreciated the straightforward design. Routine upkeep like oil changes and filter replacements were all pretty simple too. The tractor's capacity for front-end loaders, backhoes, and other attachments broadened its scope beyond just field work. Over half a century later, and the 4020 remains a cherished piece of American ag history. Jokes aside, even modern tractors would tip their hat to this model's dependable performance and operator-friendly design. It marked the moment that John Deere cemented its reputation for bringing serious innovation to everyday farm machinery. Number 2, the versatile 145 four-wheel drive. Canada-based Versatile, which later was very influential in U.S. markets, introduced the 145 in 1966 as one of the first mass-produced, large four-wheel drive tractors that North American farmers could realistically afford. While Versatile was headquartered north of the border, these machines quickly became staples in the Great Plains and across the U.S. With roughly 145 horsepower under the hood, hence the name, the tractor offered robust performance for heavy tillage, seeding, and other power-intensive tasks. Its design was straightforward and geared toward reliability. The 145 housed a 6-cylinder Cummins diesel engine paired with a rugged manual transmission. Four-wheel drive provided traction on challenging terrain, from rolling hills to muddy fields, and it all let farmers extend their working seasons and handle bigger implements. Another big selling point was the 145's accessibility for repairs. Bolted frame construction and standardized parts made do-it-yourself maintenance quite feasible. Comfort-wise, the operator station, it wasn't plush by modern standards, but it was sufficient for the times. Versatile emphasized practicality and minimal frills, opting to keep production costs and retail prices lower. This appealed to farmers looking for raw power without that big, hefty price tag. The tractor also boasted good maneuverability for a large four-wheel drive, thanks to articulated steering that let the front and rear sections pivot separately. The versatile 145's popularity paved the way for larger models and even greater horsepower. By bridging the gap between specialty high-horsepower tractors and mainstream affordability, it opened the floodgates for a new generation of large-scale farm equipment. American farmers who needed a workhorse to tackle expanding acreage found their match in the 145. Its pioneering role in making four-wheel drive tractors more commonplace can't be overstated. And number 1, the Big Bud 747. Now, at the pinnacle of 1900s American tractor innovation sits the legendary Big Bud 747. Built in 1977 by Northern Manufacturing in Havre, Montana, this colossal machine originally produced around 760 horsepower, later modified to exceed 900 and sometimes cited around 1,100 horsepower, an unparalleled figure for an agricultural tractor of its time. Boasting an enormous 24-cylinder diesel engine, often referred to as a Detroit diesel, but actually composed of twin 8V92 engines combined, the 747 had reigned for decades as the largest farm tractor ever built. Everything about the Big Bud just screams heavy duty. It weighs in at around 100,000 pounds with ballast. The tires stand nearly as tall as some adults and were custom built by the United Tire Company, enabling the tractor to haul monstrous implements for deep ripping and other demanding field work. Its fuel tank can carry hundreds of gallons to feed that hungry power plant, ensuring that it can run for hours at a stretch. The 745's colossal frame is designed to handle intense torque loads without twisting or buckling. Articulated steering helps it maneuver, but make no mistake, this machine is built for wide open spaces. On sprawling farms in Montana or in the Dakotas, it can cover enormous ground, pulling multi-row plows and chisel rigs that smaller tractors can't budge. Maintenance is a specialized affair. Many components are truck grade or custom fabricated, meaning that owners need to be prepared for unique repairs. Yet the 747's sheer work capacity was astonishing. It can turn over massive tracts of land in just one pass, cutting hours from labor-intensive tasks. Hey, if you were looking to break records and break ground, you could not pick a more commanding machine. As a final exclamation point on 1900s American farm engineering, the Big Bud 747 is proof that sometimes bigger really is better. Hope you found the video helpful. These 15 vintage American agricultural machines truly were on another level, pushing the boundaries of farm innovation through the 1900s. They broke new ground, literally, and paved the way for modern equipment that we see today. If you enjoyed walking down memory lane with these classics, please hit the subscribe button and join our community of machinery buffs. We've got more nostalgic dives into farming history and powerful product breakdowns on the way. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in our next video.